If you are a smart, talented, and hardworking person, but somehow you are constantly being passed on for promotions and you see that other people that are way more mediocre than you rise to the top, if you're tired of this, well, this video is for you. Welcome to Manufactured. If you're ready to discover the truth about office politics, stay here. Otherwise, you can go adjust the feng shui of your furniture or something. Today, I'm going to share with you my favorite personal development book, which is Power by Jeffrey Pfeffer. In my opinion, this is the book that slaps all the other career advice books in the face. I think the problem with most books is that they focus too much on habits, productivity, and knowledge. And of course, those things are important, but they are not the most important when it comes to deciding who to hire and who to promote. The truth is that appearances matter more than reality, and your reputation matters more than your actual results, and how good you make your boss feel about himself matters way more than how talented and smart you are. Of course, improving your professional skills is helpful. The problem is that overlooking the role that office politics play in your career can be fatal. There are many examples in history of people getting to the top despite not being particularly talented or particularly smart. However, I don't know anyone who have managed to succeed without being good at politics. The point is that if you never make it to the positions that make the decisions, assign the resources, and define the rules, all your good intentions will die as that, just good intentions, and your talent and your skills will be completely wasted. Power ruthlessly explains the things that you really need to do in order to climb to the top. It shows that being more intentional and strategic with your career is something that everyone can do and everyone should do. Before you go read the book, I'm going to be explaining the most important facts about power. Number 1. Power is good for your health. If you thought that playing office politics was stressful, well, apparently not playing is even worse. The evidence shows that occupying positions of power is associated with living a healthier and longer life. Michael Mammoth, for example, did a lot of studies about the causes of death among British civil servants. He concluded that power, status, and the degree of control that people had over their work environments was a great predictor of the risk of dying from coronary artery disease. The lower the rank of an employee, the higher the chance of dying from a heart attack. According to him, rank mattered even more than blood pressure and obesity. So just like you make time every morning to go for a jog and drink a green smoothie or whatever, you should definitely be making some time to think more strategically about your career because your heart will thank you. Number 2, good performance doesn't matter that much. Actually, the evidence shows that how involved your boss is in the process of hiring you and how many friends you have at the board matter way more than your actual results. David Shorman studied performance appraisal ratings obtained by 354 clerical employees working in a public sector organization. Employees were categorized by their supervisor involvement in their hiring. Supervisors who were actively involved in hiring or promoting people rated those subordinates higher on performance appraisals than other employees. The effect persisted, even controlling for measures like job performance. Another study conducted by Shilson determined that CEOs with 3 consecutive years of bad performance that led their firms into bankruptcy had only 50% chance of being fired. Those CEOs who had more power because of their own ownership, or because other interests were more dispersed, or because they had more friends in the board, had more chances of staying in their position. Another important thing to consider is that people need to see and remember your results in order to promote you. If you're not proactively making yourself visible to the right people, your great performance will go unnoticed. Number 3, flattery is way more effective than you might think. Whenever you give someone a compliment, the other person will feel in debt to you and will try to give you something in return, just as if you have given them a gift. You might be scared of overdoing this, however, that fear is not very rational. Jennifer Chapman did a lot of studies on this subject and she tried to find a point beyond which flattery was no longer effective. And guess what? She couldn't find it. Apparently, our deep desire to believe in what people are telling us make us pretty susceptible to flattery. And we can easily fall under the spell of whoever is giving us compliments, even if it isn't true. For example, if you reach out to me and you tell me that you love my YouTube channel, I will probably like you. Even if you've never seen my channel, or even if you've only watched this part, chances are that I will just believe in you because I want to. Number 4, always ask for what you need. Raises, promotions, the opportunity to be in charge of a particular project or task, advice, mentorships, help. Just ask. Ask, and keep asking. Never underestimate the power of asking. First of all, if you don't ask for what you need, nobody will. People are generally pretty busy with their own problems, their own agendas. They're not just trying to figure out what they could offer you. You need to ask. Secondly, asking often works. We think that it is unlikely that people will be interested in helping us, but the truth is that we tend to underestimate how costly it is to say no to someone. And yes, in case you're wondering, some people bothered to make experiments to prove this. A group of people was given the task of getting 5 strangers to fill out a form, and they were asked to estimate how many people they thought they would have to approach in order to get the 5 strangers. Most people answered 20 when in reality they only needed 10. Another fun fact about this research was that many people quit the experiment, which is not that common. That gives you an idea of how awkward and how inconvenient it is for most people to ask things. However, it is effective. Number 5, where you begin your career matters. You should always aim for powerful departments, that is, the ones that control the most resources and the ones that will expose you to the most powerful people. Sometimes the ideal area is not necessarily the one that is related to the core business or the core service of the company you're working for. There are certain hints that you can look at to have an idea of how powerful a department is. And those hints are salaries, budget, which is the most common trajectory of the CEOs of that company. Where is the department physically? Is it a nice office in the top floor or just some ugly basement? Another thing that you have to bear in mind is that power is dynamic, so the departments that are strategic right now might not be the ones that will be strategic tomorrow. Number 6, you should always prefer to be feared or liked. In order to influence others, you have to be perceived both as likable and competent. However, when in doubt, you should always choose competence. Apparently, being too nice is perceived as a weakness and a sign that you're not very intelligent. For example, there are studies that show that people who give negative reviews are perceived as more intelligent. Also, expressing anger is far better than expressing sadness or remorse. People perceive angry people as having higher status than those who show sadness or guilt. So I really hope that you put all of this into practice. Unfortunately, I know a lot of talented and smart people that are way too afraid to stand up for themselves. They genuinely think that they are not enough or that occupying positions of power is evil. But please, for the love of God, especially if you're a well-intentioned person, you need to be in a position of power. The world needs you there. So go fight for yourself. Your health will thank you, the world will thank you, everybody will thank you. See you next week. Bye bye.